Hi guys, welcome back to the fifth video of the April Q&A series. And today I wanted to tackle the question, how do we problem solve without getting our thinking involved? Because I hear this a lot, and this is something that it used to look to me so 180 from how it does today that I really thought it was worth addressing. And so problem solving always looked to me like it was a result of getting really smart. So if I had a problem, I had to get smart about it and analyze it and think my way to a solution and really try to get all the details and be analytical and figure it out and strive and it just looked like something that was kind of like, well, we're human beings and we get problems, and that's why we, can be smart and think really hard about them, and that's how we get solutions. And now it doesn't look to me like that kind of at all. It looks to me a lot more like problem solving is what wants to naturally happen, and we really just kind of get in our own way or delay the process from happening. And what I mean by that is that I've seen more and more that our mind is more receptive than we culturally think of it as. So we're used to using it as a processor. We're used to using it as a thinker. We're used to using it as an analyzer. We're used to having a problem come up and then putting on our big girl panties and saying, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to tackle it? And it looks to me like if we saw how receptive our minds are, and what I mean by this is that we get good ideas out of the blue. And, we get them on walks, we get them in the shower, we get them on hikes, we get them cooking dinner, we get them when we're totally not involved in thinking about them, and suddenly an idea comes up, a solution comes up, and it's like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about that, I wasn't even beckoning that, but that's really cool, and that's really kind of clarifying, and that's really kind of cool how that happens. And we all know what it's like, because we all know that we get ideas, insights, solutions, clarity at moments that we're not asking for it, or we're not, specifically seeking it or analyzing our way to it. And that's because the mind is more like a receiver than we give it credit for. We do kind of get fed this intelligence that runs everything. It runs our hearts, it runs our lungs, it runs the birds outside and the sun and the trees and the mountains and kittens and puppies and everything. It runs it all. It knows how to make babies walk. It knows how to make people become skilled enough drivers that we can usually drive without killing each other on the roads. It gives us that kind of learning curve and capacity to know stuff and do stuff far better than we think we can know and do. And when we start to see this, it seems like, to me at least, that problem solving is just part of the misunderstanding that we have about how we use our minds. And that when I'm really stuck in a problem, if I kind of stop working and doing my thinking and kind of revving it up in search of, the clarity of the solution that I want, and I'm able to just kind of step back and say, okay, well, what new ideas have come to me? What am I not seeing? What bigger perspective is just out of reach right now that may not be in, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, tonight when I'm showering, tomorrow when I'm making breakfast, whatever it is. And when we actually know this, when we know that our mind can be used in a different way than we're used to using it, then not only do we tend to get our answers faster, but it tends to be so much easier, because it's like, instead of using, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, trying to tackle a problem mentally, if we allow ourselves to put it on the back burner and say, okay, I don't know, and I don't really want to, rev up my thinking and rev up all of this kind of analytical, organizing of trying to search for the problem, to search for the solution within the details of the problem. It's like, if I know I can just put it on the back burner, then I can just go and do whatever I want. I can go on a hike. I can go sit and read in the sun. I can go have a cup of tea. I can have dinner with a friend. I can do whatever. And I know that I'm going to get some sort of idea about it in a way that's much easier and simpler and effortless than I could have imagined. And that's not to say that, that thinking can never solve problems. It just seems to me like problems can be solved despite me, or, despite all my thinking, or kind of, how do I say this? It's going to happen anyway. So it can either happen after I spent 6 hours kind of running my mind and didn't come up with anything and gave up and bam, the solution comes. Or it can come from like, well, I'm not even going to spend those 6 hours revving my mind. I'm just going to put it on the back burner and enjoy my day, and something new will come up. And in the end, we get the same result. So in the end, the problem gets solved. In the end, we see it differently. In the end, we find some way to move forward with it that is a bit clearer and a bit calmer and a bit more capable than it was, before it, how it felt before. But it's really nice to know that. It's really nice to know that it's not something that we have to do so much doing about, and that we can kind of just allow it to happen. And so, yeah, hopefully this was helpful. And we have another video in this series. So if you have a question that you want me to address, please either email me or just leave it below, and I will be happy to answer it. And as always, you can find more about me on my website, evergreeninsight.com. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care. Bye.